Hello，大家好，我是你们的上班族小天，欢迎回到我的频道。今天我们一起聊一聊葡萄酒。不知道你们是不是有时候跟我会有一样的困惑，或者朋友们推荐的葡萄酒，你完全不知道它好在哪里，或者说在餐馆点餐的时候，你对着餐馆的酒水单，然后也只能随便点一个。再或者你去超市买葡萄酒的时候，看着各色各样、琳琅满目的红葡萄酒、白葡萄酒、香槟啊、气泡酒啊，但是你完全不知道该挑哪一个，最后只好随便找了一个打折的。有以上和我一样困惑的小伙伴，欢迎你在弹幕里面扣一，让我看看到底多少人有这样的困惑。那今天我们就一次性解决以上所有问题。如果你关注了我的视频，你可能看到了我之前上传的一个去年我去亚拉山谷最古老的葡萄酒庄园伊林庄园的那么一个故事。如果你还没看或者有兴趣，我会把那个视频链接放在下面的介绍栏里，欢迎大家去观看。那在那个视频里，我提到了我当时邀请了酒庄里的一位品酒师，给我介绍了一些和葡萄酒相关的知识，然后以及一些如何品酒的技巧。那今天我就会在这一期视频里面和大家分享他到底分享了哪些知识，干货比较多，所以我准备把这个视频分成上期和下期。那在今天上期里面，我们重点会讨论一下白葡萄酒，然后下期的内容我们会重点分析红葡萄酒。当然了，今天的视频里面也有非常多的干货，比如会讲到底该如何品酒，以及干红里面的干到底是什么意思，还有什么样的酒可以搭配什么样的菜等等等等。不过先和大家打个招呼，就是当时在现场品酒室录音的时候，背景音比较嘈杂，所以收音的效果没有特别好。如果有小伙伴想把今天的这个当做英语听力练习的话，那你就当成是地狱模式吧。OK， 那我们就开始正题。既然说到喝酒，我们首先肯定要学习一下如何品酒。那我们看看品酒师是怎么说的吧。How should I do the taste? So should I swallow it or I should spit it?
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. You can taste a wine without actually drinking it. So basically you can just put in the glass, just have a smell.
Yeah.
When you breathe in, just leave your mouth open just a little bit.
Okay.
And once you breathe all the way through, the aromas will hit the olfactory bulb in your nose, and a lot of the messages are transferred as a taste, as if you could taste the wine before you even put it in your mouth.
Okay.
And then when you do taste it, just have a sip and then draw some air through the wine.
Yeah.
Like this.
Okay.
What that does is that you get like explosion of flavour in your mouth, and the flavour should linger after you swallow the wine. The flavour should linger for quite some time. So the spittoons, if you just want to tip any excess wine,
Oh, okay.
if you want to spit in, you can do that as well. And it's also good to have a little bit of water in between wines, or every few wines, just to refresh the palate.
当然啦，撇开技巧，品酒或者说我们在生活中喝酒，其实就是一个想找到我们自己最喜欢喝的酒的口味的这么一个过程。人和人之间的口味都各不一样，最终的目的就是想找到自己最喜欢的那一款。既然每个人的口味都不一样，那葡萄酒它又有什么分类可以满足我们每个人不同的味蕾呢？其实简单来说，葡萄酒可以分为以下3类：红葡萄酒、白葡萄酒，这个大家都非常熟悉了。其实还有一个叫桃红葡萄酒，我这边也有一瓶，是看上去大约是这样子的。但是桃红葡萄酒呢，因为它比较小众，然后我在这次品酒的过程中也并没有体验到，所以在我们这个系列视频里就暂时略去。我们今天主要是聊一聊白葡萄酒。一直以来，很多人可能有一个误区，就是他们以为白葡萄酒就是白葡萄酿制的。其实这不能说错，但是并非完全正确，因为白葡萄酒可以是白葡萄酿制的，但是也可以是红葡萄酿制的。白葡萄酒啊，它只是在发酵的这个过程中把葡萄皮去掉了，所以最后得出来的这个酒颜色就相对要浅一些。不同种类的白葡萄酒其实就是由不同种类的葡萄酿制的，像我们比较常听说的几种白葡萄酒，霞多丽、长相思、雷司令这些，其实就是由分别名字叫做霞多丽、长相思和雷司令的葡萄酿制的。当然了，这些不同的葡萄也给这些不同的白葡萄酒们带来了不同的风味。那现在我们就看看品酒师给我推荐的他们酒庄的一款雷司令吧。
So this one is called Riesling.
Yeah.
Riesling can be made as a dry wine or a sweet wine.
Yeah.
Ours we're calling it off-dry because it's sort of in between.
Okay.
Got a bit of residual sugar,
Yeah.
and that comes from a late harvest. So the fruit's left to ripen longer on the vine than normal. So there's more residual sugar in the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a refreshing sweet.
Yes, sounds
Fantastic
good.
with Asian food like Thai, Vietnamese,
Okay.
Cambodian. The sugar can really cut through some spice or some chili in a dish.
So next time when I go to a restaurant, I can order this with the Thai food. Yeah.
It's very similar to German Riesling, actually.
Oh, okay.
If you were to go to the Rhine region, do a cruise down the Rhine River in Germany, this is the type of Riesling that they make there.
Yeah.
The most famous Rieslings in Australia come from regions like Clare Valley and Eden Valley, which are in South Australia. And the Rieslings are usually made dry in style.
OK， 相信大家在这段视频里面一定反复听到了一个词，就是 dry。dry 在中文里面就是干的意思。我觉得可能很多小伙伴从小到大一定听到很多广告里面会提到干红。那干红里的干到底是什么意思？其实我也问了品酒师这个问题。
So dry is how your mouth feels afterwards. So yeah, if there's usually they'll ferment the juice so that the sugar is converted to alcohol.
OK，
So if there's very little to no sugar left, then it is quite dry in the finish. It tastes dry. Dry is like the opposite to sweet. So if you're new to wine, a lot of people prefer sweeter wine rather than dry. Because your palate's used to drinking sweeter beverages like soft drinks and cocktails.
好，那我们现在再接着聊聊一种比较特殊的品类，就是气泡酒。其实我这边也有一瓶气泡酒。顾名思义，气泡酒其实就是含有一定数量二氧化碳气泡的葡萄酒。这个气泡它可以是在发酵过程中自然产生的，也可以是在后期人为加入的。我相信大家一定常听说香槟吧？其实香槟就是一种气泡酒，在法国香槟区选用特定的葡萄，然后通过特定的工艺流程制造出来的气泡酒才能够称作香槟。行，那我们现在就看看品酒师对他们庄园的一款气泡酒的介绍吧。
So this is the one at the very top of the page.
Yeah.
So it's the Yarravant Cuvée. So we've had a partnership with a champagne house in France called Champagne de Vue since about 1993.
Yeah.
So they make all of our sparkling wine in traditional champagne methods. Be very gentle on your palate. So it's Cuvée. It's a traditional blend of 56% Chardonnay to 44% Pinot Noir.
在这个品酒的过程中啊，我发现了其实我自己更喜欢甜的葡萄酒，也就是不干的葡萄酒，所以品酒师又为我推荐了另外一款更加甜的气泡酒。
The first one you tried was a really dry sparkling. Yeah, this one's a little bit sweeter in the sparkling. Crème de Cuvée, it's still a blend of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Oh, okay.
But it's more closer to a split of 50-50.
OK，
And yeah, it's a bit more creamier than the other one.
Okay,
So it has
creamy.
30 grams per litre residual sugar.
Yeah.
Whereas this one only had 5. A little bit more sweeter as a sparkling. Not too sweet. It's not like a Moscato. Moscato is a very popular sweet bubbly. But this is not quite Moscato. It's got a lot more complexity to the flavour.
那最后我想和大家分享一下我平时最喜欢喝的白葡萄酒，其实就是这一瓶 Moscato。那 Moscato 是一款非常流行的甜白葡萄酒，如果你买来在喝之前把它放在冰箱里面冰镇一下的话，喝起来会更爽。OK， 这就是本期视频的内容，主要给大家介绍了一下口味相对清淡的白葡萄酒。如果你觉得对你有帮助的话，非常欢迎你点赞、评论，一键3连。在下期视频里，我会分享口味更重的红葡萄酒。如果关注我的频道，你就不会错过啦。那我们下期节目再见，拜拜。